Hi there, I'm Zoot Java. Um, Please do me a favor, go down, hit the like and subscribe for me, as it really helps me out. And you're watching this on YouTube, so I'm going to leave a link to the full uncensored version of this episode to three other video hosting sites that I use. So I'm going to talk about this as delicately as I can because I would be banned off of YouTube if I said the whole thing. I know this because this has happened to me in the past. So, uh, let's start off here. UK's war on comedy picking up pace and is with the latest controversy involving comedian Jimmy Carr and his joke that he had made at the end of his special called Dark Humor. Um, Jimmy told an offensive joke in a Netflix special, subsequently describing it as edgy, having first warned his audience that it would be a career ender and issuing a trigger warning. So the comedian was ostensibly trying to play on the current oversensitive, you might say snowflake, cancel culture climate when he prefaced his joke in that way. And so he told this joke and he used something about terroristic thing that happened in the past to cause a punchline. And it happened at the very end of his special called, as I said, His Dark Material. In the war on comedy, Carr also attempted to position himself as one of those fighting on the side of comedy, which he has been for his whole career, basically. And particularly, it would seem as a champion of what is commonly referred to as gallows humor, when he said that his act of the evening contained jokes about terrible things. They were terrible things that may have affected you and the people that you love, he said. But these are just jokes. They're not actually the terrible things. So, judging by the reaction from UK officials and MPs, as well as other societies, and some of the Twitter blue check marks, you can always tell what kind of a brain you're dealing with when somebody is a blue check mark on something where the first four letters of the platform are TWIT. But this explanation falls on completely deaf ears because they just don't want to hear it. Leading the pack in her condemnation of Carr was Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries, who quickly came up with the idea to have the government ban comedians whose jokes are offensive from appearing on Netflix. This despite the fact that Dorries in the past had tweeted things like, and I quote, left-wing snowflakes are killing comedy and suppressing free speech. She was right at one time, because that is the truth. Doris, who is now busy promoting and pushing the highly controversial online safety bill that critics would say, if passed, opened the door to serious ramifications on free speech online, free expression online. It announced more legislation that would bring more restrictions. This time, the UK's media bill would be the vehicle to get Netflix and other streaming on-demand platforms to censor the type of comedy Dorries finds abhorrent, shocking, and unacceptable. There's no accounting for taste, the old saying goes, but in the brave new world shaping up, Dories in the like-minded bandwagon clearly think that there must be. Carr's joke, which she consistently referred to as comments as she spoke for the BBC, is abhorrent and it just shouldn't be on television, was this government official's verdict. As for her previous opinion about snowflakes killing comedy, the politician had another verdict to pass. What Jimmy Carr did last night is not comedy, she said, though the Netflix special has been on the platform since December. Yeah, it is comedy, lady. You're wrong. Doris later told the Times Radio that the UK at present can't make Netflix censor content or hold it to account, but ominously threatened that very shortly we will. Ugh. And a whole bunch of MPs agreed. Of course, they had to stand up and make fools of themselves in the House of Parliament as they heard and blah. So, the likes of these members would be Parliament Nadia Whitcomb, David Lammy, Zara Sultana, who said they were pressuring Netflix to remove Carr's material. Bring this and similar platforms under Ofcom regulation in the UK, describing the show as an utterly despicable attack and disgusting beyond words. Other people said that it's not a laughing matter. Rejecting his joke is tasteless and offensive. And Traveler Movement said on Twitter they had launched a petition to Netflix calling for the removal of segments of his dark material which celebrates this joke. Carr received support, though, from a number of other comedians who oppose him getting canceled for doing his job, which is telling jokes. Among these people are like Scotland's Count Dankula and Leo Kearse, who told Breitbart being offensive for the sake of comedic effect is a right that should not be questioned. Dankula remarked that as a comedian he understood Carr's intent was to tell a joke, rather than actually mean what he had said. This is how stand-up comedy works, but that basic understanding of comedy is something that society seems to have lost over the past 5 years, said Dankula, who has seen his share of controversy and even a legal trouble because of his brand of humor. Kearse believes that Carr's joke doesn't diminish anything. Rather, it relies on it to spread the impact of the punchline. YouTube alternative BitChute also weighed in on the controversy, tweeting, "If this is consistent, then dark humor would be completely banned from the UK. That's a real shame, as the UK has a long tradition of such comedy, and there really isn't any evidence to say it's being harmful. In fact, the reverse. Another option would be learn to change the channel." My opinion is just what they said. Learn to change the channel. There's no better way than to say it. As for everybody else, are you offended? Again, you're sitting there with one of these in your hand. Just go click, click. You've either shut it off or you've moved to something else, even on Netflix. So I'll just end this by saying what you come on here for anyways, and that's the joke. And I'll use one of Jimmy Carr's joke because it only seems fitting. British scientists have realized that cigarettes are dangerous to children. Fair enough. Use an ashtray. Anyways, as I said, please go down below, like and subscribe. If you want to see the full video that I made for this, because I couldn't put it up here on YouTube, and I know you're watching this on YouTube, Just click on the links below and you can go to any one of my video hosting sites that I use alternately from YouTube, because they're not going to cancel me for what I'm saying. And until later, have a Java on Zoot.